welcome back to Bridgnorth Coffee Club. Different setting today, Jonah.
On the road in the car.
Yeah, this is very strange, isn't it? I'm not sure. We got the mascot as well. Jellyfish.
Welcome to Bridgnorth Coffee Club. We've arrived here. We're here, Jonah. We've made it.
Welcome to Bridgnorth Coffee Club. We're in a slightly different location today, Jonah.
Fluffy Dragon HQ.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
What a place to be.
It is really, really good.
As a big rum fan myself, I find myself a little bit of a paradise here. It's quite nice.
Yeah, it is nice, isn't it? But we're joined here for a masterclass in Fluffy Dragon rum, and we're looking forward to it, aren't we? Yeah.
Drinks in your hands. So,
Nice sound, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
so we've got
That's good, isn't it?
what I like to call the winter spices. So you've got like your cinnamon, you've got your nutmeg, we've got ginger in there, we've got vanilla in there. A little bit of sugar just to sweeten it up. So well on the palate. We also do coffee variation.
Oh, it's on brand, isn't it?
It's on brand.
On brand for us.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. That was very nice.
Yeah.
It's got a nice roundness and a fullness to the
Yeah, you
coffee.
could have just a bit of ice, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Bit of a nice coffee. Maybe a nice coffee with it. Would be nice.
Details later. I've just picked a Nutrigrain spirit, so it's just plain, just so that the only flavour that you're going to have in there is the coffee. So we need to move over there to do that.
Perfect.
Perfect. I feel a bit uneasy over here though. There's a bit too many sciencey technical things going on.
Back in school.
Back in school.
Get the old Bunsen burner out.
Yeah.
Going to be used. So this is just a Nutrigrain spirit. So no flavour. So you can think like a vodka. And then in one of these, I'm going to macerate them. In another one, I'm going to distill it, and then I'll match them at the end. It'll take about 25 minutes, half an hour. I'll match them for ABVs at the end, so they're the same. And just so you can see how the two different techniques presented in different ways.
That term macerate sounds really clever.
And just in
Use it in day-to-day conversation.
just in a context that doesn't make sense.
How specific do you have to be? Like bang, because if you're looking for 20 grams, is it literally bang on 20, or can you be like 20.5 be alright? Or is it
That little bit, right?
what's your level of what you're going into?
I mean, obviously we're doing it on a very small scale here, so the more exact you have to be. If you're 0.0 grams over and you're doing 2,000 litres, it's not the biggest issue, but it's best to be consistent. Like pure alcohol.
So I'll go with mine, I'll give you a
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Safe hands.
Safe hands. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's it, it's fast, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's literally after a minute or two.
Yeah.
It's going to extract the flavours as it goes. So I'll just turn this on and turn that on there. So the water will start to get through. We just make sure we've got no overflowing. We put in 900 ml with 20 grams of coffee. We're going to take off 400 ml. We then take a reading and we match it back to the level of that. We strain that off so it's as clear as possible. Taste it side by side. It actually looks bigger from upstairs when you look down.
You think so?
Yeah, but it looks taller this way, obviously.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure, that's just because I'm not stood next to
this bit. Could be.
Yeah, true. What are we looking at, Dave?
So, this is a still. It can operate in two ways. So you can operate as a pot still.
Yeah.
Pot still is the simplest form of distillation. So you put your alcohol and any flavourings in there, you heat it up, it gets cooled down, and then it turns back into a vapour. A column still has a column. Now this column here is unloaded, so the vapour will just pass through it. What you can add is different plates there, and each plate acts as a further refining process, purifying the spirit more.
the timing, so per sort of column you had in, how much slower would that process be to then finish? Does it slow it down at all, or is it just
It does slow it down. What happens, like there's some rings here, and when the vapour's coming up, it'll hit those, it'll condense, it'll become liquid again and drop down. And when you've got a plate in there, they have three upwards vents and they've got one downward spout. Each plate has to load, and it'll take it depends on various temperatures, width. They'll have to load, and when each one's loaded, then the spirit that comes after it is purer and lighter.
to look at for is obviously very quite high tech and refining process. Traditionally, the first rums that were made and produced, it wouldn't have been on something that looks exactly like this. Is that just a really basic
It would,
version
it
of
would
this.
operate the same, but it's like a car. If you look at the original car and
Yeah.
you look at the car now,
Yeah.
they're essentially the same.
Same function,
but very different. With distillation, when it originally came to Europe, how they would regulate heat is they didn't have like heaters like this. They would warm sand on a fire and then change sand as they were doing it.
This has just come straight out of there.
So that's just come straight off there. So at the moment we've got about 75 millilitres. So what's in your hands is probably about 80% ABV, maybe 75% ABV.
But you can, that coffee
Smell
is
the coffee, that really,
Yeah.
really strong.
straight away.
That changed the texture of my mouth.
Yeah. It made me feel like I
That
had
is,
coffee
that is
paste,
different.
coffee paste in my mouth then.
Yeah. It'll make your eyes water as well, that ABV.
Wow.
It's also confusing because it's coffee flavoured but it's not coffee coloured.
Yeah, because it's clear.
Yeah.
You don't think you're going to get coffee at all.
That's not what I expected. That's
No.
yeah. That's like something out of Willy Wonka. That is. It's not a normal drink, is it?
A bit more to go with this, so should we sit down and talk a bit about different styles as well?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Perfect.
That was wild.
That was mental.
My whole mouth just like I don't know what was doing.
We've talked a bit about what flavours we've got in our rum, we've talked a bit about stills, talked about different ways of extracting flavour. What we haven't talked about is what rum is made from. Now rum is either made from molasses or sugarcane juice. This is molasses.
That is good. I can see what you mean about keeping them back for the smell of it, because it's quite nice.
Quite like that.
You wouldn't drink that though,
No.
unless it was a cough syrup.
It's pretty much the same texture. Historically, there's 3 different main variations of rum. Rum is primarily produced in the Caribbean. Sugarcane grows incredibly well there. Where there's sugarcane, they've got the molasses, they can make the rum. A 3-island blend, so we've got a little bit of Jamaican in there to give it a bit of funk. We've got a lot of the Spanish kind of styles. We don't use any of the rum agricole because we think it would get in the way of our flavours.
Which one's your favourite one?
What all the rums there?
Yeah.
Smoky. Out now. But what would you think, you know, in your professional experience, the biggest differences in the processes and the way it's made compared to potentially other things on the market that I'm not so happy to drink all the time? That makes sense.
There's various things. The raw quality of the base spirit that goes in. I don't want to mention names, but there's a lot of things that you probably wouldn't want to drink neat. So we use quality premium blend, 3-island blend of rums. Percent ABV. This is distilled. This is macerated.
I'm interested now. See what differences, how much of a difference.
The obvious one is the colour.
Yeah.
There you go. Let me know what you think.
Thank you.
They're both coffee. They're just different version of coffee.
Should we go for first that one? With alcohol. That's a lot more coffee-y.
Yeah. That one's more like, as you said earlier, like with a coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
So we've obviously used coffee here now,
Mm-hmm.
and there's different flavour profiles that you can use that you've mentioned already. What other flavour profiles can we use?
Quite a few. Let me show you.
Well,
Some variety in it.
There's a few here, isn't there?
So if it's got flavour, you can put it in alcohol and extract it.
Wow.
There's a variety of things. So fruits is an obvious one.
Yeah.
Berries. Then you got some more unusual things like barks and roots.
Good, brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you for having us. I think it's been great.
Really enjoyed that actually.
Yeah.
It's like adult learning, isn't it? Adult school, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, thanks very much for having us. Something I had absolutely no idea about previously, and actually a little bit loaded of information now.
Well, to help you get a little bit more loaded, we've got a few samples and a couple of other things there.
Very kind.
There you go.
Little
Very
cute,
nice.
isn't it?
Look at that. Thank you
Same
very
for
much.
you as well.
Thank you, Dave. Cheers. Thanks for your time.
No problem.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
Wow, what a trip that was.
That was different, wasn't it? I just,
Yeah.
I've never done or been around anything like that, like a brewery or a
No.
distillery.
It was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've learned a lot. For a bloke who drinks a lot of rum,
Yeah.
what I've learned is I didn't know a lot about rum.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Fluffy Dragon HQ, we were at, weren't we?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We were going to record there, but we obviously spent a bit
ran
long.
out of time. That was too much time waffling about the actual tour itself, wasn't it? And all the
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
that came with that. And then for those who haven't seen or maybe have seen, Fluffy Dragon, obviously they're the company that sponsor our Flame of the Week, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
So that little section where we have a sporting clip of the week, a rugby try or big hit or big run, and
Yeah.
that's the section from there. So it was nice to see the full picture. Nice to actually get a bit more of a face to the actual brand, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice.
Go and meet someone who's a specialist in it and learn a bit.
Yeah, it was good. I think we tried to do something different this week with the podcasts. But again, we've got something extra again that we're doing this week. We're quite busy this week
Yeah, it's not.
with it, but we're trying to do something different with it, and I think it's a nice little direction that we're going. And I hope you enjoy it. There will be something. We might try and put like a vloggy, really thing together when we're at that. When we're at that HQ.
Just be patient with us because it's full-time jobs and the rugby.
Yeah.
It's limited time, isn't it, to actually put this stuff together, which is probably why it's taken so long for us to get to here with it, isn't it? But actually, if we can do a good job of it, I think it'll come out really cool, won't it?
Yeah. What was your favourite thing about that HQ then?
I'll tell you what, having the drop, and I'm talking a literal drop of that 80%
Oh.
proof stuff.
Yeah.
That was, in my life, I've never experienced anything like that where the whole texture inside my mouth changed. It felt like really warm. I can't really describe it. It was a really weird sensation, but actually that was...
It was
really
like,
different.
you put it in your mouth and then your mouth went like you had a paste.
Yeah, a bit claggy.
Yeah, it was
Is the
weird,
word,
isn't
yeah.
it? It was really, really weird. Really weird. What did you learn from that? That you perhaps didn't know anything about rum, and your one sort of like takeaway from that that blew your mind.
Oh, it's on the spot, that is. Do you know, it's not directly from that, but actually there's probably loads of little bits when we were walking around that we forgot to get on camera. But like the little conversation with David, who's obviously the expert, talking about the history of rum and where it's come from, how they did it. But obviously we saw the big distillery process. What blew my mind was actually originally all the heating elements and what they were doing for that. When they first started making rum, was all done with hot sand and regulating that temperature. Yeah. I just find it really funny actually that when you go there, it's all very scientific, isn't it? Weighing stuff out, different measurements of different ingredients, or certain percentages of stuff you're trying to get out or kick out, or heating to a different temperature changes everything. But in the beginning, it was just winging it.
Yeah.
So like the first ever rum, someone just decided to heat something up, and then something came out and they drank it. Like, actually, that's giving me a bit of a buzz. Let's do some more of that. But it's gone from there to here, which I found fascinating. What about yourself?
I think it was the fact that you could just put any flavour into anything and make it taste that way. And it was just Dave sort of mentioned it, the trial and error that goes behind it. Fluffy Dragon spent ages trying to find their right flavour profile by the end of it for the coffee and a lot of smoky rum. And the amount of flavours that you could choose from. I mean, there were different woods in there that I didn't even know the name of, like berries and plants that didn't even know existed.
Yeah, again, it's probably no secret. I enjoy drinking rum. It's my drink of choice. And actually, even before I went there, this isn't just a biased take. I actually genuinely enjoy drinking Fluffy Dragon rum.
Yeah.
I have done for a while now. But what was really, really good to see, and one of the questions I asked when we were going around, so what is the difference between the Fluffy Dragon stuff and then other stuff you see on the market? And the answer that came back was actually sort of the time taken to actually pick out the ingredients that they've chosen to go in it, and the quality of them as well.
Yeah.
So, we talk about each individual bit. So even just the base, you have to start with a good base rum.
Yeah.
The quality of that obviously gives a massive difference to the overall flavour at the end. But then even when you're picking your ingredients, picking a high grade of vanilla rather than a cheap grade of vanilla will make a difference. And everything they've done there for the Fluffy Dragon, it's all high quality, which is probably why I enjoy the taste of it. It's more of a premium drink to me, tasting wise. And when you look at price points of rums and that sort of stuff, you see why it's priced where it is priced, because of the quality that goes into it. And actually, some drinks, and everyone's got that drink they can drink all night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And for me, probably the Fluffy Dragon is probably that drink I can keep drinking all evening. And it's good enough, really, as well, for me, as well, that I don't really need any form of mixer with it.
No.
You know, I like drinking short. It's like a short. So, you know,
short.
it's like even like a little bit of a rum and black, like a rum and black. But actually, just some of that coffee rum that we just had all the smoke rum and ice is more than palatable enough to have it on a, you know, for a full sort of sesh if you're after that.
You mentioned on the way here about 3 drinks, something about.
Oh, I know what you're going to talk about. Yeah. So, no, I was just really thinking. I thought it was, as we were going to, you know, a brewery and talk about sort of the rum and stuff like that. It got me thinking, just because I was thinking back to some of the social we've had. I think we had that one social famously in Sheffield where we went out after a game there. We drank the Wetherspoons out of rum.
Yeah.
Although looking back, did we really drink them out, or they were just like, we're not serving you boys any more rum? We'll just tell them they haven't got any left. It's probably more the case.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
But actually, whilst we're there having those conversations, because you know, we look at the game for the weekend. I'm sure we'll cover this on the main podcast anyway. But you know, results haven't really gone our way completely, have they? You know,
No.
They've not been ideal.
No.
And we talk about how to rectify that, and you know, how to steady the ship a little bit. But having honest, good conversations. I can't remember if I heard it or read it, but it's come across my desk, as it were, about 3 drink conversations.
Okay.
So this is the point where actually spending a bit more time intentionally with people leads to better conversations, more honest opinions on stuff.
Right.
So here's an example. We don't really have to do it that much at the club. But I know some clubs, you know, across the country that sort of feel like, and conversations I've had with other teams actually, maybe some teams have felt like they've lost their character a little bit, is that boys don't stick around for more than 1 or 2 drinks after a game, and they're only doing that because they've been told to, or they have to. And I don't think it's something we worry about too much where we are. You know, there's plenty of, like, it's the regular faces stick around, but the point I'm trying to make is actually, if you're only sticking around for 1 or 2 drinks and then go in, the point of the 3 drink conversation is probably at your 3rd drink when you really start to open up. That's the one where it might not be the same for everyone. You know, some people 1 drink might tip them to that little point. Some people that we definitely know, you're talking like 7 or 8. But the 3 drink rule. You know, have a conversation with someone, talk about whatever you want. But when you get to that 3 drink bit, that's when the real stuff starts coming out. And if you're trying to, you know, take our situation now, you know, lost a couple on the bounce. You know, probably. I'd go as far as say actually for Bridgnorth, and since I've been at the club, it's quite unheard of to lose that many on the bounce. Even 3 is quite a lot for us. Anyway, it's not panic stations yet, but actually, what I'd quite like to do at some point is have a 3 drink conversation with some of the players.
I know what you mean. It's about having that conversation with players that you mentioned it on the podcast a couple of weeks ago about talking to Ben Ralph after you've had a couple of drinks, and you haven't necessarily had that conversation with him ever before. But because he stayed round after the club, you really got into the nitty gritty of Ben Ralph.
And that conversation came out of, we'd stuck around for a little bit longer. I didn't have those 3 drinks with him.
No.
But we were at the 3 drink point when I sat down with him. So straight away we're engaging in something a little bit different. I think it's important, you know, and that's, you know, part of the reason we bang on about it all the time, don't we? It's more than just turning up and playing a game and then going home. You won't get to the root of any real issues or any problems or any, for a lot of it actually, probably real honest opinions on stuff. So you're at that point.
I think it's important. We always go on about why players come back to rugby because of the changing room environment. And it is the changing room environment, but then it also is the clubhouse afterwards. It's being in and around players after a loss, after a win, when people just stick around and try and perform as sort of as best as they can, and then have put their body on the line for people and are in the clubhouse afterwards sharing a drink and sharing that conversation and making sure that, you know, checking in on your friend from time to time, you know, and them checking in on you. That camaraderie in the changing rooms is a massive thing that people love, and the reason why they come back to rugby. And again, that was raised by quite a few people that have come back to rugby this year. I think we're getting a bit lost here, Jonah. I think we've gone back on ourselves.
Yeah.
This is the first podcast we've tried to do in a car.
This
This is a red light here, Jono, by the way.
I
Don't go
know.
away.
We have been here before, haven't we?
Yeah, we've been here before.
But didn't that send me a really weird way?
Yeah, we just did a big old loop.
That's all right then.
We've done a big old loop here. That's all right. This
Oh,
is
we
what
know
it
we've
is
lost
for.
time though, because we were on 29 minutes. We're on 27 now. So we have done something.
We have done something wrong here. We have done something right. I read a quote. Well, not read a quote. That's a complete lie. Listened to a quote today, yesterday.
Where from?
Yellowstone. We're going on about it
Oh,
last
is that because
podcast.
I've been
weren't we?
watching Yellowstone.
Yeah, and it
Wait,
was.
no spoilers though, because you're ahead of me.
Yeah, no, it's not a
Right.
spoiler. It's just a quote that
Go on
the
then.
old man with the tash says.
Oh yeah.
The Wrangler with
Yeah,
the
he's wicked, is.
yeah, he's good. His quote was, "You're either born an oak or you're born a willow." Do you know what that means?
Well, obviously oak tree or willow tree.
Yeah, what are the differences between oak and willow tree?
But apart from the way they look, I don't
Yeah.
really know much about trees. Can I?
So an oak tree, the whole premise of the saying is that an oak tree is strong in nature and won't move, and is one of the strongest trees made,
Yeah.
one of the strongest trees that grows. And a willow tree is quite flexible. So the quote is to do with how you deal with resilience,
Yeah.
and how resilient you are. So an oak tree will keep, if there's strong winds and you're going through a storm, an oak tree will just bat all the winds and keep battering the winds and keep being strong, and then still won't fall over. But the willow tree will move with the wind and sway from side to side and still won't fall over. So I thought it was brilliant. It's a brilliant quote for how our season's gone and how a lot of the people in our squad have had to adapt potentially to being a bit more resilient.
Do you think we're more oak or willow?
I think I think I'm willow. I'm not sure if I think you're tough, and I think you try and go through things and you problem solve things that way.
Yeah, I'd say never thought myself as an oak or a willow. I quite like the coat though.
It's a good quote, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, we have definitely been round the circle. We just been this round. Yeah. I think I missed a right turn, didn't I?
Yeah,
Is that what's
I
happened?
think you did. Yeah,
Did you notice at the time or not? I didn't know.
I did a little bit, but you were in conversation. You were in
Should
flow.
just stop me.
No,
Probably
no.
more important we get home.
Well, maybe, yeah.
At least you can blame me for being late now.
Yeah,
There you
I can do that because I've got video evidence
took
of
a
it.
wrong turn.
Caitlin's already rang me, so.
I just saw that coming up on there. I'd probably say, what am I? More oak, more willow? Can you be a bit of both?
You can be a bit
I
of,
disagree with him. You're not oak or willow. You can be a bit of both. What's it in the middle? Trip?
yeah. It's just one of those quotes by saying that even if you're born either way, as in this is what he was saying,
Still manage to
you
get
can
through it.
still manage to do it, but it's the style of which.
You choose to do it.
You
Yeah.
choose
I'm
to
probably
do it.
more oak than willow.
Yeah,
That's right, isn't it?
yeah.
More head on than bend with it.
Yeah.
But I think it probably requires a little bit of both.
They all get to the same end result, so they're still both standing, the trees
Yeah.
in the storm, but it's how they dealt with
Deal
the
with them.
storm and how they deal with it. I just thought it was a great quote, and I thought that was very
What
relevant.
we need is a social. An oak and willow social.
Oak and willow social.
3 drink minimum.
Yeah.
Buy into the social.
Yeah.
And then we'll all discuss what we are.
Yeah, nice.
'Cause it is important
Yeah,
to work out what what makes people tick, isn't it? And that's I'm finding that a bit of an interesting conversation this season with a few people actually about in leadership roles.
Yeah.
Trying to address a changing room full of people, but everyone requires sort of a different stimulus.
Yeah.
So screaming and shouting might work for some.
Yeah.
A softer approach for others. Some people don't need to say anything to because it just makes them worse.
Yeah.
Um,
This right turn in here.
This one here, mate. Yeah. I did drive straight last time, right? Yeah.
But
So-
we had the conversation on the way here, though, didn't we, about whether me and you have taken results and performances a little bit more to heart this year because of what we're doing.
I'd say so, yeah.
And I would agree with you. I think I don't know if overanalyze is the right word, but I definitely could, because we talk about it, because we go through results in a lot more detail and we talk about the psychology behind it a little bit more. I feel like I overanalyze myself as well, and I feel like it's got us into a headspace to be able to have those conversations with the players.
Mm.
And I don't think you are right. Screaming and shouting at some people won't work. But I think sometimes if I told you to run through a brick wall for me, please, you'd do that.
Yeah,
But if I told
that's my style, though, isn't it?
somebody else to run through a brick wall and told them in the same way that I tell you, it wouldn't work for them.
No, it wouldn't work. You've got to find a happy medium, don't you?
Yeah, I've got to find a happy medium. But yeah, it's been a very interesting day that we've had today.
It's been
Very
good fun.
interesting. It's been
actually,
good fun. It has been good fun.
Yeah.
We got some nice clips. We got some nice freebies actually. I might show them on the camera actually. So first things first.
I like how I've used one of the freebies as a bag.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we got a Fluffy Dragon little beanie hat there. I thought I'd
Suits
model
you.
it because you said you don't suit beanies, but
Suits you.
I'll model that for you. There you go. I might get my ears out because then I can't hear anything. Caitlin hates it when I wear my beanie like that with my ears out.
I only
think
ever wear
so?
my beans with my ears out.
Yeah, I said this. I said to Caitlin, I always wear my beanies like this. She's like, why are you doing that? You look like a weirdo. I'm like, that's what we always do.
I always wear a bean like that. I never
We always
cover
wear a
my ears.
beanie like that because.
My ears get hot. Really weird. I get hot ears.
And then we've got your personal favourite rum here,
It's a smoky, but it's limited edition now. That is.
limited edition. Yeah, they've stopped doing it, haven't they?
Yeah.
Maybe we could sell it.
So put it on eBay.
Put it on eBay. Sell it.
Put the money back into the pod.
Yeah, put the money back into the pot. And then we got a nice little 3D printed key ring from Fluffy Dragon. And then a lovely little bag to go along with it. So it's nice, isn't it? Very, very nice.
I wasn't expecting that. Again,
No.
we didn't go loaded with gifts to give out.
No.
So I didn't know it was going to be a thing. But actually, it's probably the done thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Quite
it's
nice
probably
to get
the done thing. But I was, I think I texted you in the morning and said, Jonah, I'm really excited, but I'm nervous.
It's this whole vlogging style of videos, very not counterintuitive, it's very new
Yeah.
to us, isn't it? It's weird. You feel a bit weird trying to get loads of clips and chat in front of a camera.
Because I think me and you aren't very phony people
I am definitely not phony.
when we're with people.
Mm.
As in, we wouldn't have our phones out first recording something. I would rather watch something
Yeah, than
and not have recorded it.
Yeah.
So like you see people at festivals, don't you, with your phones out recording?
Yeah, I'm not one of those.
But yeah, this might not go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's this video. This video might just be for me and you on here. But yeah, I hope you will enjoy this. It's just a short little debrief of where we were.
Give us some time to put a decent video together, hopefully. By our standards, decent.
Yeah.
For the little distillery tour we've just done.
And we are very, very busy over the next couple of weeks with work and with rugby. We're very, very busy. So there might be a little bit of a disconnect with when we release stuff.
I'm out of the country, aren't I? So
Yeah. So Jonah's out of the country. So things might come in.
different time zones as well.
Yeah, things might come in a little bit different ways. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Jonah, over to you to finish.
Hold on, ready? That's a bit right time. 2 claps, this, 3. 1, 2, 3.